Another announcement I have is this is our very last video of 2020. We're taking some time off for the holidays, but also to kind of figure out, we've had some technical difficulties lately. We need to figure out what works best for us and figure out more topics because we've been doing so many of these. So we'll be back in the new year, possibly mid to late January, with new videos to share the stories of Williamson County. But we're taking a little pause to kind of figure out exactly what we want to do and how we can best produce that for you. So today we are talking all about Santa Lucia. That is because Santa Lucia is a traditionally Swedish celebration. It is actually probably the biggest celebration in Sweden next to Midsummer. And they're both events that deal with light. In Midsummer, obviously, it has to do with summertime and sunlight. And in the winter, in December, obviously not light, but Santa Lucia is a bringer of light. We'll talk about Saint Lucia and her origins. We're going to read Lucia Morning in Sweden by Ewa Rydecker with illustrations by Karina Stallberg. So we'll read that. But we're also going to talk about some things that you need to know. The first thing you need to know are about Lucia buns. And I will go ahead and post these recipes for the things that we're going to talk about. Lucia buns, also known as lussekatter. Lucia buns, they're kind of like a sweet yeast bread that have a yellow tint to them because of saffron. And so right here, I'm going to show you a little platter, but this is actually what a St. Lucia bun looks like. And you can see it's in a nice little shape S. There you go. Depending on whichever way the camera goes. We're also going to hear about pepparkor. I'm sorry if I'm slaughtering my Swedish here, which are like gingerbread cookies and are another traditional Swedish Christmas treat. I'll post that recipe as well. But right here, we're going to talk about St. Lucia and how they're served. They're normally served by the eldest girl in your family. I am the eldest girl in my immediate family. And so they would normally traditionally dress in a white gown, red sash. They'd have a St. Lucia wreath and would have candles on that wreath. But what's interesting is originally candles, now they're electric. So if you were a clumsy St. Lucia, it might spell trouble for you. But if you've ever seen some of our Swedish trunk, like our copper kettle, our St. Lucia buns, and that's what she's serving in the morning on December 13th. And here's another little up close look illustration of St. Lucia buns. So here's my chance. I have a platter of St. Lucia treats. I don't have coffee, but I have my St. Lucia buns that I made, and I have my pepparkor. See, ooh, look at that lovely treat. Serving it to you right there. This pepparkor, I actually just went and bought it at IKEA, so this is actually straight from Sweden. It's kind of a crispy gingerbread, and it's kind of fun that IKEA made it so that you could stand them up in 3D and you could decorate them. But we have our Santa Lucia buns. The saffron gives the kind of yellow, has an egg wash, and then it'll have the raisin. So we're going to go ahead and read the book, Lucia Morning in Sweden. So I'll read a page and then I'll show you. It is December 12th in Sweden. Snow is piling outside the Svensson house, and the 3 Svensson children are excited because this is their favorite time of year. Hey, Mama, it smells like Christmas. What are you baking? Your favorite, Carl, pepparkor. Tomorrow's a special day. Do you know why? Says Mama. I think I know. If you're making pepparkor, it's almost Christmas. And tomorrow's December 13th. That's Lucia Day. That's right. In Sweden, Lucia Day means Christmas is getting close. Pepparkor. Getting ready for St. Lucia Day. Sophie and Louise will be coming in soon. Can you help me get ready to make the lussekatter buns? Sure, Mama. Do you remember what we need? I know they have raisins and something that makes them yellow, says Carl. Very good. A spice called saffron makes them yellow, and it makes the buns smell good too. Lucia Day is tomorrow, girls, so get your jackets and boots off, and you can help us. You can bake the buns while I go out and pick the lingonberry leaves for Sophie's Lucia crown. Mama, I want to be Lucia, Louise whines. You were Lucia last year. I know you'll make a perfect attendant this time, and Carl will make a wonderful star boy. Getting ready to make those Lucicatter, also known as the Lucia buns. Getting ready to be Lucia and her attendants, also star boys if you're a boy. This dough is yummy, says Carl, licking his fingers. Don't eat it, shrieks Sophie. We need it for tomorrow, says Louise. Carl, can you just take care of the raisins? Sophie and I will make the buns. And in this photo, in this illustration, they're making the buns. You have to make a nice little line and wind them into an S shape. I made one of my shapes turned out very good. The rest were not so good. Need some more practice. Papa's home. Hi, everybody. It sure smells like Christmas. Can I try a Lucicatta bun? Nay, Papa. They're for tomorrow. Okay, I'll wait. Mama says, what are you laughing at? Is Papa making funny faces behind my back again? Remember, you children have to hurry and have supper now so you can get to bed early. Off you go. Papa and I will be in to say goodnight. We can't wait for tomorrow, said Sophie. I'm going to sleep with my star boy hat on, says Carl. You can't do that, Louisa, teases Carl. Your head will get pointed. There's Papa trying to sneak some of those sweet, saffrony Lucia buns. We go, the children going off to bed. And the star boy hat, crown. Oh, I love Lucia Day. I remember how happy I was to be Lucia when I was young. But we now have a lot of work to do. Can you iron the gowns and Carl's shirt while I finish the Lucia crown? Sure, I'd love to help. Mama and Papa getting ready. And then, what is Carl doing? Looks like he's in the pantry. Wake up, Sophie. Wake up, Louise. Wake up, Carl. Is it Lucia time already? The children ask. Yes. It's December 13th, Lucia Day. Time to wake up Papa. So they're waking up the children. Oh dear. What happened to all the peppercorn? There are only 2 left. We don't know, says Sophie and Louise. Do you know where the peppercorn are, Carl? Maybe the Tomten or the cat or the dog ate them. Please tell me. I won't punish you, but we do need to find the cookies. I put some in my star boy hat so they'd be ready to give to Papa, and now they're all broken. Never mind, Carl. We can eat the crumbs. But next year, don't put them in your hat. There was also a mention of a Tomten. A Tomten is a little gnome that takes care of your house, and if you don't feed them rice pudding on Christmas Eve, they will curse your farm and home. So hopefully if you bought a Tomten from, seems to be all the rage in stores, you better feed them rice pudding. But back to St. Lucia. Sophie, you first, then Louise, then Carl. Stop hitting me, Carl. I'll tell Papa what you did with the peppercorn, says Louise. So we have St. Lucia, her attendants, the star boy, all lining up to deliver the Lucia buns and coffee to their father. And then with children, they're fighting and threatening each other. Oh, you are such good singers. And the Lucia buns are wonderful. I love the peppercorn crumbs. Why don't you have some, says Papa. Has Mama made some hot chocolate for you? Shall we go to Grandma Gunhind and Grandpa Axel with peppercorn and Lucicatter? Yeah, the children yell. Breakfast in bed. How many of you are actually going to get St. Lucia buns in bed tomorrow? I'm going to teach Teddy the Lucia song, says Carl. Teddies can't talk, says Sophie. My Teddy can sing. Carl's teaching his teddy bear to sing. I'm not going to sing, but I will in the comments include, this is some photos of them singing. I couldn't find any royalty free, but I'll include some there's some beautiful Italian renditions because St. Lucia is actually Italian, but it's a beautiful song, but I'm not going to torture you. Also, slaughter Swedish. Shh. We want to surprise Grandma and Grandpa. Are you ready? Mama asked softly. Okay, we're ready now, whispered Sophie. Do you remember the words? Sophie and Louise and Carl. I'll copy you, Carl whispers back. So St. Lucia, her attendant, and the Star Boy are all getting ready to sing carols. Papa rings the doorbell. Grandma peeks through the peephole and unlocks the door and tiptoes back to bed. Sancta Lucia, Sancta Lucia, the children sang. Grandpa is surprised and happy. Oh, you children must have practiced a lot. You sound so good, and what wonderful bakers you are. Delicious. Especially the crumbs. Those poor peppercorn crumbs. Children, asked Grandpa, do you know why we celebrate Lucia Day? No. Why, Grandpa? When I was a child, I was told that Lucia was a saint, a very good person who brought food to the hungry people in Sweden during the longest, darkest winter night a long time ago. That's right, says Grandma. Sancta Lucia wore a crown with candles to brighten the dark days in Sweden. Now we bake the lussekatter, the Lucia buns, and give them to other people to remind us to be good like Lucia. Speaking of that, let's give some to our new neighbors. They just moved to Sweden from another country, and they probably don't know about Lucia Day. Yes, let's give them some peppercorn and lussekatter, Louisa says. Thank you so much for doing this, says the neighbor. This is such a nice time, and the children love it. The buns and cookies are delicious. And I made the crumbs, says Carl proudly. It's almost time for school. You better get ready for the big Lucia performance for your teacher, says Mama. Okay, they say, and they kiss their grandparents goodbye. Tack så mycket, Grandpa and Grandpa. Next year I'll be Lucia, says Louise to Sophie. They're often, I said eldest, but sometimes the siblings take turns as well. The Lucia Day pageant. Well, Mama says, it looks like Lucia Day is over. You had such a big day and you were all wonderful. Put your gowns in the laundry room. Oh, we are so tired, says Sophie. Just have a little supper and go to bed. Get home from school. And then they have dreams of St. Lucia. So the story of St. Lucia is a symbol of light amid the darkness for Sweden, and it has many different versions. Although her feast day is celebrated on December 13th in Sweden, she was born far away in southern Italy in the 3rd century AD. It's said that she became a Christian after seeing her mother miraculously healed, and she made a vow never to marry and to give the money that would have been her dowry to the poor. She refused to marry the man her family had chosen for her, and some say he denounced her for her faith, responsible for putting her to death. She died a martyr's death in 303 AD, was declared a saint. She is Saint Lucia to the Italians, Sancta Lucia to the Swedes, Saint Lucia or Saint Lucy to all English speakers. And so no one quite knows exactly how Lucia became an important part of Swedish culture. It's kind of a mystery. Did the Vikings know of her and brought the legend to the north? Did monks and priests tell of her martyrdom? Of course, Sweden was once a Roman Catholic country, and the stories of saints were often told and retold in the Catholic religion. It's not clear how the saint from Sicily became Sweden's beacon of light during the darkest period of the year, though one legend popular among Swedish Americans tells of a woman dressed in white standing on a boat, in the bow of a boat, who were crossing Lake Vänern. She was bringing people to the food to the people of Vänern who were dying of hunger during a famine many years ago. They say she wore a wreath in her hair crowned with a ring of lighted candles. To this day, December 13th is one of the high points of the Christmas season, and candles are lit all over Sweden to bear against the darkness, bear her light against the darkness as Lucia did. Early in the morning of December 13th, the oldest daughter in the family in Sweden has the privilege of being Lucia, wearing a long white gown sashed in red, a wreath of lingonberry leaves in her hair, Candles, that now usually run on batteries, are set into the wreath. Her sisters wear white gowns and tinsel in their hair and around their waists. Boys in the family wear tall pointed hats with stars on them. The star boys traditionally are associated with 3 wise men, and the children awaken their parents and offer them coffee, saffron-flavored buns called Lucia, and ginger snaps called peppercorn. Lucia programs are also held in schools, businesses, and at public gatherings. So I hope you guys all have a wonderful St. Lucia Day tomorrow. Hopefully you get some nice peppercorn treats or St. Lucia buns or even just breakfast in bed. Hope you guys have a wonderful finish of the rest of 2020. Had a great time sharing videos and stories of Williamson County, and we'll see you back in January. Bye, everybody.